Hello everyone, my name is Nathan, and today it's time for another episode of Oxygen Not Included Spaced Out DLC. In the previous episode we caught up in a new world with all the new updates and bug fixes, and today it's time to dive a little bit deeper. One thing I would like to do is maybe explore a little bit further, see what we can find downstairs, also check out what geysers and vents actually spawned in this world. And finally, another thing I would like to get myself prepared for is a couple of ranches. Especially the Drecklets are of interest to me. Now the thing with ranches is it is a building or a room that can be bigger than 64 tiles. It's supposed to be 94 tiles for optimal ranching conditions, and it also needs to be quite hot. Now I already mentioned I would like my transfer tubes eventually to go through here, and I'm actually gonna leave a little bit of space free on this entire layer here in order to have transit tubes horizontally as well. The same thing is going to apply to this row here above the batteries. This here is going to be reserved for transit tubes in a horizontal fashion. This probably means the earliest we want to start our farms is down here, and I've also checked the temperatures. We probably should build it towards this area because it's already hot and cozy for the Drecklets. At the moment, since we are pretty stable, I'm spending a little bit of time in order to collect all of the materials. They're bringing the mats to the automatic dispensers we've built in the previous episode. But alright then, without any further ado, let's go ahead and keep on building these rooms. I want to make sure the Sweetles are still trapped in this room, and then we're going to take care of the next level. I also noticed we have a bunch of skills to give away, 17 of 9 morale. Yeah, with our current infrastructure, probably at this point we should be able to get into improved construction. Especially Jean here already loves construction, so that is just going to add +1 morale need, and we have plenty of leeway still. Next up, Nails could finish the researching tree here. I believe that would be beneficial to us, so the research goes even quicker, and we're also gonna give her that hat. We now have astronomy, by the way, so we can discover more planetoids. So yeah, we're gonna keep on building and digging. As I mentioned, this is gonna be my transit tube area, so I want to build the farm one block further down. I decided to go with a different route in this Let's Play and not encase our base in a small manner. We're gonna build also down and upstairs before we actually seal off the base completely. This means I probably want transit tube possibilities all over the place, which means we are gonna need to set up another one of these systems. And we're gonna try to make this symmetrical. So the first thing we would have here is a fire pole. Let's actually bring this all the way up to here. That should be fine. And then left to it, we're gonna have our ladders, and then the next tile can be dug up. This essentially means we're gonna try to build our room on this level right here, and we're also going to need a liquid log, to be honest. The thing about Dreckos is I believe they like to be in chlorine, and they also need hydrogen in order to grow their scales, and then we can shear them for reed fiber. So maybe we don't even have to go to the third planet to get that reed fiber. Of course, we still need to go to the third planet for other things eventually. Now, another thing we could already go ahead and set up, and this is probably going to be more or less temporary, is an area where we store our gases, such as the carbon dioxide, until we need it for the rocketry. Let's see, gas tank right here. Gas reservoir it is called. That's why I didn't find it. But that's essentially what we need in order to store at least a little bit of carbon dioxide safe somewhere around. Now the question is, how are we gonna build this liquid log without losing too much of our real estate? I mean, it is going to make the room a little bit smaller, isn't it? Also, another thing I might want to plan out before we go too deep here is the heat management. Of course, we're going to need insulated tiles for these farms, and that might actually be a huge problem if we want to keep things symmetrical. You know, honestly, this could pose a huge problem. I think I want to do it completely differently. Maybe we are going to find a way in order to actually make the rooms this size here, and then we just do 2 levels of 16 wide rooms. This would mean our rooms are 144 tiles, and then if we added, for instance, 2 insulated tiles to keep it forever insulated, this might just work out for us. Let's go ahead and actually test out this theory just in planning mode here. So I would like this to be 16 tiles right there. We are then gonna bring this all the way down. So with that, we have a room that is 144 tiles in size, of course, including the top row of insulation. However, if we now add a second layer of insulation, just like that, the inside room becomes 84 tiles, and then we still need an opening for a liquid log. You know what? I think this isn't necessary. We need to do something like that. That makes more sense. This gives us a room size of 98 tiles, and then including the liquid log that I'm probably gonna add somewhere here. Actually, thinking about it, I might want to add the liquid log here at the bottom. That would make more sense. So that would be 98 tiles minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Resulting in 91 tiles, but it might be worth it. Eventually, once we have the transit tubes, we can also get rid of the liquid log and even save on a couple of tiles. But with this design, we could also stack multiple ranches on top of each other and still go with our basic design. I still see the stacking problem though, because if we stack it like we did here at the bottom, this would mean we get an additional layer of insulated tiles, which isn't worth it. So technically right here, I could move everything one to the bottom, which then means if we add another ranch on the bottom, it's gonna have 2 layers, and if we add a ranch on the top, it's gonna remain 2 layers. This made the ranch probably a little bit too big, however, we can solve that by adding a second floor, for instance, just occupying a bunch more tiles. I kind of like that idea, guys. So maybe before we dive into that, it's time to prepare the other areas so that we don't run into any issues in terms of where we have the critters that are waiting for a destination, basically. My research is completed, so we can place a couple of these gas reservoirs, and if I can, I would like to get 3 of them in there, perfect, and then collect some of my carbon dioxide. And we probably best do this here at the bottom at the moment. So gas pump goes right here. Obviously, we also want a gas filter just in case, though we could actually check the gases with some automation instead. All I would need is a couple of these gas element sensors, and then we're also gonna need the ant gate. Yeah, let's go ahead and research that right away. If we set up the sensor here in the top room, the bottom room should always be filled with carbon dioxide, except, you know, once we release those gases. But we can use a switch in order to manually do this for the time being. We don't need to pump it constantly. We are not producing that much carbon dioxide at the moment. So we're definitely going to need more refined materials. I'm actually going to do 50 crafts of copper ore, and that is probably going to be the last I'm doing. At the moment, we're not struggling for sand any longer. But it's still good to keep collecting a little bit more of it until we actually get into the metal refinery. In the food section, I also want to go for a critter drop-off so we can wrangle up a couple of critters and keep them in this place for the time being. We can also already set up the pipes that go all the way up here into my gas reservoirs. There are so many sweetles around. Let's do something like that. Go in here, go in there, and go in here. And for now, we're just gonna store the thing. And just to make sure everything goes according to plan, I'm already gonna set an automation wire just in this spot. If there's no signal on the automation wire, the pump is never gonna run until I tell it to. The critter drop-off is in place. What we want to collect here are obviously sweetles, and we also want to get the grubs in there. So grub and the wormlings, probably 2. Is there anything else we want? Maybe the sweetle larvas too, if we come across them. This also means we should be able to simply wrangle these guys up. Oh, wait. Nobody... of course. We still need to wait for a skill point, which we actually do have. Ellie right here can go into ranching. Wonderful. Camille also has an additional skill, improved carrying 2, and the next one is going to be mechatronics engineering. That would then be another concern out of the way. We got some more automation researched. We are going to need a gas element sensor that I'm gonna place approximately here. We're then gonna lead some automation wire into an ant gate that we're gonna set up right there, and the ant gate is gonna go into the pump eventually. This also means we're going to need a switch right at this spot and then possibly connect it like so. So this is gonna line up perfectly with the ant gate, and only if there is actual carbon dioxide in this spot and I set the signal switch to on, that's when the pump is gonna function. So gas element sensor, carbon dioxide, that's what you want to detect. Now we probably have to go into priorities. Ellie, yeah, I didn't set up the ranching priority for her. So this is going to be your most important priority, and I guess everything else comes after that. There she goes, wrangling up my critters. Gotta love it. We might be able to already dig through here a little bit in order to get to the other 2 critters there, and we're also gonna wrangle those guys up. We should also continue with our airflow tile pattern wherever we actually have the possibility. There we go. Looks like the pump here is actually done. Now it's just running in a loop, which obviously is not what we want. So we can get rid of all of these pipes again. This is now a finished job. Don't need power cables anymore. Good stuff. Research is already completed. I'm gonna set up the AND gate right there, and then all we need to do is connect that with an automation wire, like so. I could have gone with the signal switch only and, you know, just occasionally turned this on. However, this is just like a second layer of security in case I forget to turn it off again and I don't want to pump all the polluted oxygen up there. Okay, there we go. Now we're starting to build the ranch. The critters are out of the way. There are some more beetles here on the top that I'm gonna pick up, but everything else should be contained. But, you know, at this point we can just as well keep on digging a little bit and also picking up these beetles here at the bottom. Before we do the second insulated layer though, I might want to build the first one on the outside. Make it a little bit easier for the duplicants to access everything. And in order to achieve that, we probably have to set up a couple of temporary ladders. Woo, check this out. We got a care package with another drecklet. This time not even just an egg, but a real drecklet. We're definitely gonna wrangle this guy up. And I guess until we're ready, we just need to put it into a different room here, together with the eggs. Drecklet and DRECKO, you go in there. I leave a little bit of space free here in order to set up an atmosuit station eventually, you know, once we have access to it. And another thing we can already prepare is a bottle emptier in order to get this liquid lock filled up. Though I might want to do that at the end. Well, we can already build the bottle emptier, but I'm not going to fill it up just yet. So my duplicants don't have to get wet while they're building stuff. There we go. My gas pump is finally being built. And of course, I totally forgot about the power. I want my power to go through the door level here. And then I guess we're just going to connect up like so. So yeah, I guess eventually these guys we can remove again. That was still a leftover from moving the left side of the base one block over because I messed up. Wait a second, did you just build that out of copper? I actually wanted to use the cobalt for this. Oh well. And before we forget, let's also go ahead and connect these rooms together for a bit more carbon dioxide exchange. Alrighty, we're actually almost done with the basic layout of the farm. I think I'm gonna open up a little bit here, just temporarily, in order to get rid of the extra oxygen we have in there. Then we're gonna make the liquid lock and then we're gonna pump out the entire room. This way we don't need to set up filters or anything. Okay, come on, just escape. You can do it. Work with me here. I don't know, what's our power situation? Still full power. I think I'm just gonna be wasteful and set up a pump right here in order to ship everything to the room next to it. Just need a couple of wires that go to here and then set up a gas pipe going to, let's say, right there. Gas vent, and that should be the entire setup. Oh, actually, hold on. Just when I decided this, the oxygen bubble went out there. So this is absolutely perfect because that means now I can just connect this with our already existing pipe and it will directly go into the storage. Cool, let's make sure this is an actual liquid lock. We're gonna choose water. Yeah, let's do water. We don't want polluted one. And we're also gonna enable auto bottle, set this to priority 9 and then fill up this liquid lock so gases will never exchange. I wonder if we should take another duplicant. Otto could be our rocketry guy, already equipped with piloting, and whenever he's not flying a rocket, he could take over the decoration job. Cannot do researching errands. Oh, hold the phone. That could be a problem. Skills. We do need research. Yeah, we do need research in order to get to rocket piloting too. That is absolutely absurd. This is a real pity. I really wanted to go with him, but let's go with the lime instead. There we go, starting to pump out everything. What I'm gonna do afterwards is actually introduce the chlorine we find up here. So this room is gonna be filled up with chlorine, about 1 kilogram per tile, and then the rest I wanna fill up with hydrogen as soon as we have access to it. We got some skill points. Mima is gonna go with farming 2, then nails. I think I'm gonna leave her be for now. Maybe it is Ruby who is going to do the decorating. I mean, decorating is such a specific job. It only happens every now and then. And since I don't know what else to do with Ruby, that could be the thing to go for. I think that's actually a good idea. We're gonna set this all the way to the max. So toggling and decorating are gonna be the max. And then she is going to take over the art fundamentals here and also aesthetic design. So we have someone doing the decorating job now as well. While this is being pumped out, we can already plan out the stations we're gonna require. So I'm probably gonna go with a grooming station that is gonna replace the pump, and then we're also gonna need a shearing station right there. We are then also going to need some food, and I believe we can just go ahead and do some balm lily in order to satisfy their needs. So that means we could have a couple of these farm tiles like so. Yeah, I'm actually gonna deconstruct this again and build it one floor up instead. So we're gonna have another flooring tile here, and then we can go with the shearing station. Let's get these ladders out of the way. In our farm tiles, we want to set up some balm lilies. Do we already have access to them? No, but we will have access as soon as we open this up for the chlorine. These are all over the place. Yeah, balm lily. Oh my god, everyone is helping. That's because I have no other jobs going on at the moment. Maybe we should go ahead and expand a little bit. For instance, we could already go ahead and set up the next bedroom. This time I'm gonna space things out a little bit so we have the space for comfy beds eventually. Gonna add a ceiling to the joint and then maybe another layer of insulated tiles. We're also gonna need to free up some space here, and this might allow us to access the farming tiles here on the top, so we can go ahead and auto harvest these sleet weeds as well. Now I just see if we do it like so, we are already below the 96 tiles that we require. So maybe it might be worth it to open up this wall here, even though that would mean we don't really have 2 layers of insulation anymore. However, the leaking heat would only lead into the next shaft that we have here with the ladders, so it's not that bad. The exchange between the individual stables is much more important. This would then allow us to place a secondary farm on top of here, potentially. So that's about 6 farm tiles, and I believe we would want at least 20. Yeah, let's maybe go with 18. So that would be 4 more, and this would leave us enough space for another ladder. Maybe we can even do one more here, and then we also have a ladder on this side. Already preparing my way over to another chlorine chamber, which technically should give us enough access to the good stuff. This also means we should go ahead and actually continue our adventures right here. Now I'm gonna make a little tunnel system in order to dig down here, so that not too many of the gases that we don't want are capable of getting into my base. This comes down here, and then I guess as of this point we can just keep on digging down with our ladder system. Now this is still gonna be a problem. It's eventually of course gonna come up. But looking at our base, it's still basically a mess of polluted oxygen and oxygen, though it has become a lot better, we have to say. Maybe there should be another deodorizer at our polluted water pool. However, all of the other gases are still gonna accumulate somewhere in the base, and then we just have to go ahead and get rid of them the hard way at some point. At the moment, I'm just waiting for the rest of the carbon dioxide to be actually pumped out, and then we shall see how big this room actually is. I'm gonna continue here a little bit in order to gain access to some oxygen. That is gonna help in terms of building this a bit quicker. Wonderful. Some oxygen is distributing here, so they can actually take a breather and keep on building. We will also find some more hydrogen. The problem at the moment, I believe, is hydrogen. It's not even accumulating here anymore. Maybe for now I'm actually gonna lock this door just in case. I don't want anybody to go out there. And then eventually all the hydrogen we're collecting at the moment through digging, we can simply make use of at the top of the map. In just a moment, we're actually gonna pick up some bleach stone, so I think it is important that we store this right away. I would like to store it right here in my polluted water tank. And since bleach stone is really fragile, I think I'm gonna have this at the maximum priority. Where is that? It must be consumable ore. And then in just a second, it should actually pop up here. Let me see. Did we already... Yeah, we already dug one up, I think. Another thing I forgot to tell you, I had to put these to sweep only, of course, otherwise they would be picking up the materials in a vicious cycle. And also another thing I would like to do is set them to priority 4, so whenever I have another dispenser with those materials, we can prioritize it. Wait a second, yeah, there we go, bleachstone. Okay, there it is. Man, that was so confusing. Consumable ore, bleachstone, priority 9. This way we pick up the bleachstone ASAP, and then whenever we need to, we can set up another chlorine chamber using those bleachstones. And then as mentioned before, I also want to set up some deodorizers here. I already have one on the right side, that should be fine. I also set up this bottle emptier with polluted water, so we can slowly but surely collect it, since we are never getting any polluted water bottles anymore that actually contain germs. Finally, we have a vacuum going on. That's what I've been waiting for. I'm actually gonna deconstruct this wire and bring it over in another fashion. Namely, we want to go down at this point and then move over here. I'm probably gonna have to deconstruct a couple of tiles in order to reach certain cables. That's fine. Actually, as a matter of fact, let's go ahead and open this up here. I think that's gonna be better. Access it from below. This also means we can wrangle up some more sweetles. And there we go. Hydrogen is already making its way up. This is gonna go rather quickly until we have it stored somewhere. But anyways, now with our vacuum in place, it's time to open up these tiles as well as these tiles here. And then I guess we want to uproot a whole bunch of balm lilies as well. Also most likely want to take apart all this bleach stone stuff. Yeah, let's go ahead and just dig this entire thing up. Make sure that we can somehow access everything. And now our room is filling up with chlorine. I want to stop this process at around 1000 grams. I got myself some new pipsqueaks, also from eggs from the printing pod, which means I'm actually going to destroy those guys. They only gave me headaches anyways. Wonderful, everything is in place except the grooming station. Let's build this out of copper ore right there. To make this more or less complete, we're also gonna have a critter drop-off point possibly at this location. Actually, let me build it one more tile up. Yeah, and this could also be an insulated tile, so we have 2 tiles for most of the building. Obviously, we're also gonna need a pneumatic door that we're gonna place right here, so we actually have a proper room division going on. Okay, time to actually plant a couple of things. Balm lily, copy the settings, and I want to do that for everything right here. Actually, let's wait with the last 2 ones. I'm not sure if we actually do need the space or not. I could just, you know, figure it out myself, but I don't want to calculate. The gas exchange is actually already happening here. We can even open this up and get some more of that stuff. Maybe even open up to the bottom. And obviously we want to make sure we can actually go everywhere. The reason I'm not planting those is because we might want to install a space heater in order to keep this at a cozy 80 or so degrees. Naturally, I want to be careful in the beginning so we don't scald our duplicants. How is this going? 254, 260. Yeah. Okay, we can get some more from there. Okay, seems like we're actually already getting closer to the bottom. This seems to be the division to the magma layer. And right here we have a volcano that I definitely want to explore. Maybe let's go ahead and do that right away. Want to dig all the way over to that. And then I guess let's get rid of some more of that bleach stone. I'm gonna close off the room here on the top since we are at this point only losing chlorine that we need for the ranch room. Geez, we're using up the polluted water quite a bit and we have tons of food at the moment. Yeah, this is almost full. So I think what we're gonna do is actually close off these rooms for the time being. So what I want to do is quickly sweep up everything. Oh, actually, I have no location for them. Maybe we add this location right here. And then once that's done, we are gonna lock the rooms. Hopefully nobody is gonna be trapped. Ooh, some algae for the first time. I'm probably gonna go with that. Yes. Oh, another thing I almost forgot. We want to take out the bleach stone from our automatic dispensers here. There we go. My farms are closed off, which means we need to reactivate them, let's say, once we drop to around 100,000 kilocalories. And as you can see, the chlorine trap here is actually working quite well, I have to admit. Only the hydrogen is making it up top. At the moment we're progressing quite slowly, but I'm actually totally fine with that. I want to take it a little bit slower and think about what I'm doing first. Basically all of our duplicants have now access to another skill and I'm actually going to distribute those. Mechatronics Engineering, we can finally upgrade our food storage. Ellie is going into Critter Ranching level 2, that's for sure. Mima is definitely going to go into Improved Carrying. And then everyone else I'm gonna leave be for the time being. Okay, you know, at this point I think it might be easier to set up another gas pump here instead of doing it in a complicated fashion like this. Yeah, this is never gonna turn out the way I want. It's gonna take way too long. Where is my gas pump? Right there. So we're gonna set this up right here in combination with the room on the top and everything we're getting from this side. We will then be pumping in the chlorine this way, and what I definitely want is another automation switch, so I can turn this off. This will go here, automation switch, and then I guess we could actually do something simplistic with one of those, so we don't have to use precious materials, and this setup is temporary anyway, so I don't really care. Let's go through there, and actually let me go through here. This should all be buildable, directly hook up to the pump. I'm also gonna set up a mechanized airlock right here, just temporarily, in order to be able to pick up my materials again. The carbon dioxide should prevent the chlorine from flowing out. There we go, the pump is active. Let's make sure this room is being closed off as soon as possible. Now I just noticed my switch actually doesn't do anything because it's dependent on the manual generator. I thought if nothing is hooked up to the manual generator that can actually receive the power at the moment, they will not use it, but alas. Okay, this is actually already looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and disable the building. Yeah, this way I can actually do it. Okay, now just gonna let this chlorine distribute a little bit, and we can see it is approximately 1000 grams at the moment. This also means we finally have a stable. The room size at the moment is 90 tiles. Now we could improve on that by bringing these machines down. So we would already have 95 tiles. And then if we wanted, we can bring this down again, so we have 96 tiles. I think that's the way I'm actually gonna go. So we are gonna remove these guys again. We can already go ahead and deconstruct everything here as soon as we have access to it. So grooming station back here, we can remove this cable, come on. And my shearing station right next to it. I'm also gonna move my ladder over one. I think that's gonna be aesthetically more pleasing, and then we're gonna replace those tiles with normal tiles. Can we actually do that? No, we first have to remove them. There we go. Now we have a perfect room size of 96 tiles, and it actually fits perfectly into our design. I just love it. We will be able to stack it on top of each other. Good times. Time for a sweep right here. As mentioned, eventually I want to have a space heater here in order to help out with the temperatures. So that is another thing that is going to require power eventually. I'm not quite gonna connect it just yet. Actually, we might want to do it using thermosensors. Let's go with copper this time, and we're gonna place a sensor right here and connect it with a automation wire like so. This way we should have full control over the temperature. And now all we need to do is wrangle up this guy, and we're gonna wait for the eggs to actually hatch, which are at around 70% at the moment. We're gonna then bring over Drecklets and Dreckos right here. That should be good, and that also means I don't need to have them in this location any longer. I'm also gonna make my way down here in the hopes of actually pumping up this polluted water in due time. And in the meantime, I would also like to remove these artificial things. There's even more glass for more solar panels. Amazing. Let's say we want to run the space heater as soon as we are below 60 degrees for now. This should still be a temperature the duplicants can deal with. And then we also need to plan ahead for the hydrogen that we could, for instance, pick up right here. There's some more stuff here. Look at that. It's even coming in larger quantities. Yeah, all we need, for instance, is another power transformer that we're gonna set up here to make everything easier. Just a normal one. That's gonna go right there. It's gonna take the power from the heavy watt wire, and then we can use a normal wire in order to get out of there. Pick up some hydrogen from here and there, for instance. But yeah, that is actually gonna be the plan for the next episode. We can already see Bomb Lily are not at the right temperature. They like it a little bit hotter, but we're taking care of that too. Actually, you know what? This shouldn't take too long. Let's not be too lazy about this, and we're gonna set this up already. It's temporary again. We just need that precious hydrogen right now. I'm even temporarily gonna utilize this pipe right here. So what we want is remove this piece at the moment, and we might want to remove this piece here as well. In this case, all we have to do is set up a gas filter as well, and then we're gonna bring down the hydrogen in some way or the other. Like so. This should turn out well, and all we need is a bunch of ladders. Come on. This way we should be able to more or less access everything. Just get rid of that and that. Hold the phone. I think we're shearing our first DRECKO. The problem is Ellie needs to catch her breath every now and then, so I'm not sure if she can complete the process. No. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is never gonna work out. So I think what I'm gonna do is actually set up a separate room just very briefly with a grooming station as well as a shearing station. And then we're gonna bring the DRECKO over there to shear and bring it back again. It's also time to activate the space heater. Oh yes. Gas filter is in place. We want to filter out hydrogen and set up a gas vent for the other gases. Let's wrangle this guy up again, and then we're gonna bring it over right here with priority 9. So this will be preferred. There we go. The first pump is in place. We are pumping some hydrogen out of there. This is going all the way down here through my hijacked pipe. Wonderful. We have some hydrogen in the joint. I love it. I'm just gonna fill up half of the room with hydrogen, and the other half is gonna be chlorine. And this way we should have the optimal environment for our Dreckos. Wow, that's so intriguing. We now also get poke shells. Though I would consider these more of a mid-game thing. Let's go with more Drecklet eggs. I installed one more pump up here in order to get the rest of the hydrogen, and that's everything we can easily collect. Well, there's another little spot we could do it in. But considering the gas vent is already overpressuring a little bit, we should be good with that amount. Yeah, I think I'm actually gonna leave it be like so we can deconstruct this again and reconnect the old system. The DRECKO isn't actually being sheared in this station, and I believe this might be because we started it shearing in this place instead. I'm not so sure. Okay, this is not working at all. I might want to go with an oxygen station instead. See if we're a little bit luckier this way. Well, now the next problem is going to be to bring a little bit of oxygen down here so we can at least do one shearing and one grooming. I mean, I only need one freaking Atmo suit. Everything should be fine after that. But yeah, to wrap up the episode, let's go ahead, wrangle these guys up here as well. There's another DRECKO here at the bottom. And then the next time we can take care of some of the problems. Oh my gosh, Ellie's just doing a really bad job in grooming these guys. I think we have to disable both of these buildings for the time being. And we just wait until we have the oxygen station in place. Gene, is this really the place you want to idle at? Ah, that's what I thought. Okay guys, we're gonna wrap it up at this point. If you enjoyed the episode, please don't forget to like, comment, and especially subscribe. You would just absolutely make my day, and these episodes totally worth it. And with that out of the way, I'm going to catch you in the next episode, hopefully already tomorrow, but it might take me another day since, you know, I'm soon gonna take a couple of days off, so I might not be able to upload a video every day, but I'm surely gonna pre-record a couple of them so I have some ready for you. But with that out of the way, thank you so much, have a great time, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.